Fletcher, mate, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me, Isaac. I appreciate it, mate.
Now, a lot of the great love songs and heartbreak anthems we all know and love were written by people much older with a lot more life behind them. So, at just 22, when you're stepping into that same territory, how do you feel your version of love and loss sits alongside theirs? Like, what do you think your age lets you see or say that they maybe can't anymore?
Yeah, I was 20. I would have been 22 when I wrote this song. I'm 24 now. And I I've been really fortunate to be with my partner for 5 years now. And prior to that, I was in a long-term relationship and growing up. And then I've seen my parents are still together, and then my grandparents are still together in their 80s. And so I think I've had really good examples of what it takes to sustain a healthy relationship. And so when it comes to writing this song Blindspot that I've just released with my fiance singing on it with me, I think my perspective on the importance of communication and honesty and really like leaving everything out in the open is has been very forefront, and I guess that's essentially what the song's about.
And talking about the new track, Blind Spot, I feel like you've captured one of those rare moments in a relationship, the one where everything feels up in the air and fragile, which got me thinking, do you think every great love story has a blind spot moment like this where everything could go either way?
That's an interesting question. I'd have to say yes.
Yeah.
I think especially if it's sustaining and long term, I think my intention is to limit them as much as possible,
Yeah.
which is essentially like what the song's about of the more you talk and say, hey, this is how I'm feeling, or this is what I need, or um, what if we tried this, or like how can I be better for you? All of those types of conversations, that sort of limits the blind spots, I think, and brings everything into vision. But I think as we in relationships, there's many different stages, and this song was written, earlier towards us getting together and feeling like this is so special and this love is so special. So what can we do to make sure that we hold on to it and cherish it and keep letting it grow and stay together for, well, forever? We just got engaged, and that is absolutely the plan.
Absolutely. Congratulations, man.
Thanks, mate.
The song
Appreciate
it
it.
lives between apology and staying. So if someone put this on in the middle of a fight with the person they love, what line do you hope would make them sort of stop, breathe, and maybe stay instead of walking out?
These are the best questions I've had. These are awesome. Thank you. It's you're really breaking into the song. I mean, probably the hook line of the chorus essentially is the like, if he loves you, darling, don't let him go. But I think that it's obviously a nuanced line. Like, obviously, for some people, there comes a point where it's like the love isn't enough and it just doesn't work, and maybe you move past a point where you can love each other but not actually like want to be together. Um, but I think that line is like, and obviously, there's many people's relationships are better for not being together. But I think sometimes that line, if he loves you, don't let him go. Like, if you're in a situation where it's salvageable, but it's just sort of scary or difficult or uncomfortable, that's really worth pushing through if you sort of both want it. Like, it's sometimes it's like doing away with maybe your pride, or maybe your fear of being judged, or having removing the ego and being the one to say sorry when you can acknowledge you've maybe done the wrong thing, or you weren't as supportive as you wanted to be, or whatever it is. So that line, it's like, if the love is there, and um if it's strong, it's like it's rare, I think. I mean, a lot of people find their person and stay together, but also a lot of people either don't, or they do and it's not quite right, or they do and then they sort of drift apart. And I guess I guess if it is special, it's like leaving it all out there is worth it. Yeah. Yeah, and like you said that you sort of referenced the pre-chorus line,
Mm.
um, Wade, don't say sorry, just stay. It's like it's no good once it's done, you know.
Yeah.
Once you've sort of broken up and moved on and living separately, it's like it's you can reflect on it all you want, but it only really matters while you're still together.
Yeah, in that moment.
Totally.
Now, mate, you are on the brink of one of the biggest moments in your career. You're supporting Mr. Lewis
Totally.
Capaldi when he comes down to Australia. Talk to me about that moment when you found out that you're going to be supporting Lewis on his tour.
Um, the moment was really special, to be honest. So I just come home. I'd been in New York for 4 months, working on songs and playing gigs over there, and I came home to be with my family for the 10-year anniversary of my little brother Banjo's passing. And where I'm from on the Central Coast in New South Wales, there's a skate park built called Banjo Skate Park. My brother was in a skateboarding accident, and so they built this skate park in his name and in his honor in our hometown, which is really beautiful. It's like this bright, colorful skate park and sort of infinity symbol pump track
Yeah.
and like bright colors. It's very yeah, it's very vibrant and special. And so I on the anniversary of his passing, I was standing in the skate park, like sort of through the middle of the day. There was no one else there other than myself and my partner. And I was just sort of standing in the skate park, like trying to feel his presence and connect to him. And then my manager calls me and I answer and she says, "Hey, I've got some pretty unbelievable news. You're going to be opening for Lewis Capaldi's arena tour in December." And yeah, to be in the skate park and it sort of felt like it was my brother. Um, Blessing the moment and that he's sort of doing what he can to help me down here, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm just very grateful to Lewis for having me on the tour. It's about a year ago I'd put out my first single called I'll Be, and a friend of mine listened to it and connected with it and played it to Lewis. He was friends with Lewis, and so one day out of the blue I get a DM from Lewis about the song, which really blew me away. So you know, coming up to this year, like it wasn't something that I knew or thought was going to happen. It was just like one day, that day I got the call and it's like unreal. Can't wait.
Totally out of the blue, right?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
true that you saw Lewis before he actually blew up? 'Cause I think it was at Splendor you saw him.
Yeah. Yeah. That was, I think maybe it was 2017 or 2018, something like that.
Yeah.
So he was obviously like had a career going to the level of he was over here playing Splendor and he had I think Bruises was out which was a hit and but he it was before Someone You Loved had come out, so that was obviously his massive, like I think that's in the top 10 streamed songs of all time.
Yeah, massive hit.
um it's yeah, so it was
Yeah.
before that song and before he really went to that level, so it was really cool. There was maybe a couple hundred people in the tent, and I just remember thinking like this guy is so good.
Yeah.
So it really makes sense to see him where he is now.
Yeah, he's got a real gift for turning heartbreak into something almost comforting in a way. Be like yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
If
Um,
Lewis asked you to rewrite one verse of his from any of his songs, which song would you risk touching?
oh, I don't know that I risk touching any of them. There,
Yeah.
he's really so good. I love his new EP that he's just put out. And at least for myself, it seems like there's a bit of a through line of he says like on the day that I die, that kind of motif comes up in three, if not all four of the songs. I know it's at least three of them, and um, yeah, I wouldn't dream of rewriting them, but I would. It's listening to that. I really resonate with a lot of my music is inspired or influenced by my processing of my brother's passing and other people that have passed in my life, and thinking about my own mortality. And it's essentially what that song I'll Be is about, of like what are all the things that I want to do in this life in this time. So I I don't know that I would I would
We're not
risk
touching him. No.
touching them, but I really resonate with the most recent music of his that he's put out.
You've been singing and playing music since you were a kid, long before there were streams and charts and tour posters of Lewis Capaldi with your name on them. So I'd love it if
Right.
you could imagine a version of you who never touched music, never picked up a guitar, who never opened their mouth to sing. What do you think that version of you would envy most about the life you actually chose?
Mm. I wonder if I didn't do music, if I would have. I think I would have pursued something that I could find a similar feeling in. Not that anything is quite like music, but I think that when you said the thing that I would be envious of, I the thing that I'm almost I think probably most grateful for in music is the ability to um, express myself and feel really connected to the present moment. Um, and usually that's either in songwriting or performing live, because I feel like in songwriting you really cut to the core of how do I feel right now and how do I express that in music and lyrics. And sort of similarly in performing live, it's like how do I just shut everything else out and the gigs that I've loved the most, it's almost when you don't even register, you're not thinking about the words that you're singing or the chords you're playing. It's just like it's sort of like a meditative state where it all disappears and it's just like the purity of the now and the beauty of like being in the present. Um, and so if I didn't do music, if I wasn't pursuing music all these years, I think sport really has that presence and that but I'm probably there's obviously an element of physicality that you need to be sort of set up to be a pro sportsman.
Yeah.
Surfing I love is my favorite sport, but I don't think that being a pro surfer was ever on the cards. But I think I would have definitely tried to do something where I found that presence and that stillness.
Yeah. Thank God you chose to do music, blessing us with those tunes, mate.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate that.
Now you sadly lost your brother Banjo 10 years ago. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's hard to even comprehend a loss like that at such a tender age. I can't even imagine the grief you went through. But if Banjo could write a secret note and slip it into your guitar case before a show, what do you hope that note would actually say?
I would hope it says something along the lines of "I'm up there with you." Yeah, in processing, I guess, grief, I've been very fortunate to still feel his presence, and there's been, I know everyone believes different things in terms of what happens after people pass and what's possible and real or whatever, but at least for myself, there's been very tangible signs and feelings of, oh, that's him, and that's sort of beyond, um, I guess like serendipity or circumstance or like that's coincidental. I think there's been, yeah, I feel like I get very clear signs from him from time to time, and when they come up, I really cherish them, and I talk to them and I talk to him, and often when I'm performing, and I will I will feel like he's there with me, and so that's if I could get a handwritten note from him, that's what I would love it to say.
I have no doubt he'll be super proud of you, mate.
Thanks, mate. I appreciate that.
Fletcher, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for being here. Thanks for sharing your story, man. And I wish you all the very best for the Capaldi shows, dude. Go out there and crush it.
Zach, thank you so much. I really appreciate your incredibly thoughtful questions. It's
Thank you,
it's
mate.
this was really fun.